Over the next few weeks, you're going to have some opportunities to create models for an upcoming project. And although modeling is not a large portion of the animation concentration, I thought I would take some time and show you some common modeling tools and how to use them. So first, you're already familiar with the fact that we can move this object in object mode, and we're changing the translates, rotates, and scales of this object. You're also familiar with the fact that we can right-click on this object and change it on the sub-object level or the component level. So I can change the vertex position, or I can right-click again and change the edge or face position in order to get a much differently shaped model. I'm going to undo that. You'll also likely remember that we can change attributes of the original input object. So when I created this object, there was an input called polycube1 that allowed me to create the object, and I can click there to open up these options and change stuff like how many subdivisions this object has. Now, if I highlight these and middle click in my window, as I scrub from side to side, you'll see I can add more or less subdivisions. You'll also remember that I can hit 3 to smooth my object. This is called the Smooth Mesh Preview. Or I can hit 1 to unsmooth my object. 2 will show me a combination of both the smoothed and the unsmoothed version of the object. So let's go ahead and look at the Smooth Mesh Preview version, and then I'm going to go to the input and I'm going to change the number of subdivisions in this object. So you'll see that when the object is 1 by 1 by 1, it smooths relatively round. But as I start adding additional subdivisions, the object gets more information about how this object should be shaped, and we start to see that it looks much closer to the original unsmoothed object. A lot of this has to do with the distance between the edges that are being smoothed. So as we go from this edge to this edge, since that's a shorter distance, then we get a smaller smoothed area. However, if we go back to our object that has many fewer subdivisions, then this looks more rounded. And when there's no subdivisions, it rounds it to it's almost a perfect sphere. Now it's important to remember that this smooth option that we are seeing right now is called Smooth Mesh Preview because not all render engines will render this smoothed. If I try to render in Maya software, I'm still going to get a render of this object, not this object. So this is a preview of what the object looks like smoothed, not an actual smoothed object. If we want to actually smooth the object to where this is the permanent way this object looks, then we can do that in a couple of different ways. Again, remember that an edge can never really be curved. We can just see a preview of what that edge would look like if it were curved. So one of our options is to go to Mesh and then Smooth in order to smooth this object. What will happen is Maya will subdivide the object again and round off the edges in order to make it look smooth. So again, you'll notice that each of these edges are completely straight. We just have more subdivisions and an average of these edges to make it look more smooth. We can add additional divisions and our object will continue to look smoother. But again, if we get in here really close, you'll still see that each of these edges are completely straight. Again, we can still see a smooth mesh preview of this by hitting 3, and you'll see that it rounds it off a little bit more. But now that we have so much resolution in here, it's hard to tell that much difference between the smoothed and unsmoothed version. I'm going to undo a few times just to get back to our unsmoothed object again. So another way we can get a smoothed version of this object is to go to the Smooth Mesh Preview and then go to Modify, Convert, and convert our Smooth Mesh Preview to a polygon object. Now again, it subdivides it, but we get a much closer approximation of what we were seeing as the smooth mesh preview. It's important to remember that after we do this, we can't go back. The smooth mesh preview has been applied and the smoothing has been applied, and that's not something that I can change later. So that's one of the reasons the smooth mesh preview is so handy, is because it's really easy to go back and make changes.